People have been breastfeeding babies successfully for thousands of years. The milk has many products in it that are very good for human babies. The mother's milk helps prevent infections, and it gives babies many important products to help keep them healthy. And this is especially true in a place like Tibet, where there are not widespread vaccination programs. Now, people do use yak milk and cow milk for their babies, but these milks are made for baby yaks and baby cows. And because they're not made for human babies, then that can cause some problems with the babies with their kidneys, and also it can help them where they don't grow properly. Now, if a mother is ill, or if a mother is malnourished, then it might be necessary to have some formula for supplementation. And most of the formulas are well made and will support healthy growth. When they make formula, they take cow's milk and they change it to make it okay for human babies. But it's more expensive than mother's milk, and it really is not as good because it doesn't have the parts that help to prevent infections in babies. In China, there have been problems with poor quality formula, and that can actually be harmful to babies. So it's very important to know if the formula is good quality. So mother's milk and formula are made for human babies. It's made for their kidneys and it's made for their body. Yak milk and cow milk, because they're made for these other animals, they have different kidneys, and what they want for their kidneys is different than what it takes for a human baby to be healthy. And so that's why, even though the formula might be made out of cow's milk, they change it to make sure that it's okay for babies. Babies will show their happiness from mother's milk more than they will from formula. And they'll show that in a way that most people can understand, by smiling, by showing their happiness, by showing a good sleep pattern, and by staying away from severe infections. So many people who live in very rural areas, far away from cities, may get their information from television or the internet. And sometimes what you see on those programs is people that are using formula or other things for feeding, but that may not be the most common thing. But if that's all you see on television, then you may think that that's the right thing to do. But many people in America, for example, have switched away from using formula and gone back to breastfeeding and using mother's milk because they know that that's best. And that includes working mothers who oftentimes will pump some milk out and then keep it in a clean container so that grandmother or somebody else can feed that milk to the baby and then nurse them when they come back at the end of the day. And so even though in many places it's considered modern to use formula instead of mother's milk, many places in the world are going away from using formula and going back to using mother's milk because it's a superior product for human babies. Again, when they don't have vaccination programs in Tibet to help prevent infections, then mother's milk is a very good source of immunity and all the products that help a baby to build a good immune system. And again, because it's so much better for the babies, it's worth the extra effort if you can do that to provide that milk for the baby, that mother's milk.